The Second Sino-Japanese War, fought between an expansionist Japanese empire and the Republic of China, was one of the most ecologically and homicidally devastating military engagements of the 20th century.
Tensions between China and Japan were heightened since the Japanese occupation of Manchuria from the First Sino-Japanese War in 1932. By 1937, one particular military engagement, known as the Marco Polo Bridge Incident, spun out of control and escalated tensions between the two states to the point of the war.
In the coming month after the Marco Polo incident, Beijing and its port city Tianjin were taken by the Japanese army and the enemy. By 1938, the Japanese occupied different places in China. They also threatened to take over Zhengzhou, the junction of the arterial Pinhan and Longhai railways.
In a desperate attempt to halt further Japanese invasion, Chiang Kai-shek, president of the Republic of China at the time, ordered the military to destroy the dikes at Huang on the Yellow River in order to create a massive flood.
But was the flood really worth it? The Japanese troops were out of its range. They eventually took control of the Zhengzhou region by attacking from a different direction. In addition, most of the towns and transport lines in the areas which were flooded had already been captured by the Japanese.
The floods covered and destroyed thousands of square kilometers of farmland and shifted the mouth of the Yellow River hundreds of kilometers to the south.
An official Kuomintang post-war commission estimated that 800,000 drowned, while over 3 million refugees and 5 million locals were displaced. The flood affected many transport routes, which combined with the destruction of farms, resulted in severe the 1942-43 famine of Hunan, whereby 2 million people starved and 4 million more locals fled the region.
The 1938 flood was intentionally made by the humans. Even if this decision resulted in a short-term benefit for the one side during the war, it came at a tremendous cost. The river's waters moved slowly at first, but soon they turned into an uncontrollable disaster. The water spread across the landscape, damaging at least 40% of cultivated farmland of neighboring provinces.
On top of that, the waters were carrying a huge amount of sediment, which brought siltation over vast areas of land and rise of river's bed. These factors contributed to further expansion of the flood and made the flow of the river completely unpredictable.
Not only did the flood change the landscape and cause soil erosion, but it also led to famine among millions of refugees. According to Muscolino's The Ecology of War in China, Henan Province, the Yellow River and beyond, 1938-1950. Starving people scavenged for reeds, roots, immature reed sprouts, which eventually led to deforestation of Shaanxi forests, where the majority of those affected by the flood had run. People killed mules, oxen, donkeys, and even dogs for food, and sometimes would even eat human corpses.
Deforestation, famine, change of landscape, those are some of the consequences of this man-made natural disaster. Scorched earth was officially prohibited under the Geneva Conventions in 1977, but militaries in some parts of the world still exercise this strategy, bringing irreversible damage to the